My name is Miguel Estrada. I'm 45 years old, and I'm originally from Mexico City. And at the moment, I'm living in Vallejo, California. I decided to come to the United States when I was 18. I was with a group of friends that we were having fun, and all of a sudden, we started to make plans to come to the States to try to see how life was over here. So I remember that all of us went to try to get a visa. We couldn't get a visa, and then finally we tried to connect with somebody that would help us to cross the border. So the 20 of us went, but at the end only 3 of us left Mexico. 2 of us came to the United States, and there was a third person that a friend of ours, she went to Spain instead. First of all, I crossed undocumented, so there was always the scare that immigration was, in every corner looking for us and, trying to take us back to Mexico. So all those few months when I first got here, I was always scared. I was scared to go outside. I was scared to go anywhere because I would believe that people made me believe that immigration was all over and they were just, hunting for us. And so that was kind of shocking because I couldn't really enjoy those days. I was always in fear to be deported. When I decided to cross and come over here was in January, at the end of January of 1996, and I first went to LA, close to the airport, to live with an uncle of my dad that he connected me with, and I stayed with him for about 6 months before I moved. That was Southern California. Then around July of the same year, I moved up to the Northern California to San Rafael. So my first job ever in the United States was in a car wash, and I remember that I was the one that was giving back into the cars and all that, and of course I didn't know any English. So one day I was, back in the car, and then a customer came to me, and then he told me something, but I didn't know what. But one thing that always everybody was telling me, since I didn't know English, they always told me, always say yes. So which I did. I said, okay, yes, and I don't know what he told me then. So I just continued to work. And a few minutes later, the manager came to me, and the customer that was talking to me was with him. And then I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "The customer was telling you not to lock the car because the car auto locks, and now the keys are inside." And then I remember the key locksmith was trying to open the car. So again, that was very shocking and scary to me. So of course I lost my job because of that. So that was my first job. Then after that, I went to a factory where they assemble pallets for transportation. And I didn't last too long there. In my last job, we was more stable at that time. It was a cleaning carpet company. When I got to Northern California Bay Area, my first job was in a golf course. My uncle was working there, so he helped me to work there. So I was in charge of helping to give maintenance to the greens in the golf course. Then after that, they moved me to the kitchen to be a dishwasher. And I stayed there for a few months. Then I was doing dishwashing, and then after that I was, helping the cook in the kitchen, and then sometimes cooking myself. But again, my job title was dishwasher. So that's the job that I did when I moved here to Northern California. When I was here, then I met my first partner in the golf course. She was a bartender. Then we started to go out. Then we became a couple, and then after that, she wanted to marry me and then help me to get papers. So we did. But it didn't last too long. It lasted like 3 months, and then after that, when we submit all the paperwork and everything. So when it was time for us to go to the interview, so we were separated. We did the interview, and then each of us took different roads. And after that, I was alone. I was living with my aunt at that time, and then I started to go dancing, salsa dancing, because back in Mexico I used to dance, different dance, and then this helped me to fulfill that need of me being a dancer. So I was doing salsa dancing starting in '96. A couple months after I moved to the Bay Area, I started to go to the College of Marin to take ESL classes. I was going there 3 or 4 times a week. And I remember that because of my job at the golf course, that I was just interacting with Americans in the kitchen and the clubhouse, and me assisting to those classes. 6 months later, I was able to speak English. I was speaking English. I would understand, and then maybe my pronunciation wasn't great, but I would make myself understood, and then that's kind